All right, if I'm not loud enough, let me know. Welcome to the school district, welcome to the Beloit School Board and Beloit City Council Candidate Forum, sponsored by Eyes on Beloit School Board and Wisconsin Policy Monitor. I am Tori Champney, and I'm pleased to have been invited to serve as your moderator this evening. There are 5 candidates vying for 3 open seats on the Beloit School Board. One candidate declined the invitation for this forum, but we are pleased to have 4 candidates here tonight. So I do want to introduce Dan Schoof, Carol Fox, Celestina Raffini, and Bill Johnson. And a sincere thank you to each of you for your decision to run for local office. Your willingness to serve your community is admirable and greatly appreciated. Just a little bit about our format for tonight's forum. We will start with a brief introduction from each candidate. The timekeeper, who's sitting down in front, will show, a brief introduction. The timekeeper will show a 90-second clock. She will show a yellow sign when you have 20 seconds remaining and a red sign when your time is up. After introductions, we will move on to the question round. We will have 3 rounds of questions where each candidate will get their own question drawn at random. They're in this box. I forgot my bowl, so big box of questions over here. The candidate will have 2 minutes to provide an answer. Our timekeeper will again raise the yellow card when you have 20 seconds left and the red card when your time is up. After that initial response, if any other candidate would like to make a rebuttal or add commentary on that same question, please raise your hand and I will call on you. You will have 1 minute to speak on that question. Keep in mind, each candidate only has 4 opportunities for rebuttal, so choose wisely. After our 3-question round, we will move to 1-minute closing statements for each candidate. Are there any questions with the format before we begin? Okay, hearing none, we will start with Dan Schoof for a 90-second introduction.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you to Eyes on Beloit School Board and Wisconsin Policy Monitor. Thanks to Tori for being the moderator. I'm Dan Schoof. I'm a lifelong Beloiter. My wife, Alyssa Whitney, who's in the audience tonight. We raised our 2 children here in Beloit, Cullen and Devin. They both graduated from Beloit Memorial. Like a lot of families in this community, our family has benefited from teachers and staff who believed in our kids and helped them to succeed. I'm running for the school board because Beloit's public schools matter to this community and to the future of our kids. We should have schools that families choose, schools that educators are proud to work in, and schools that prepare students for what's next. For me, the priorities are straightforward. At the center, of course, is student achievement, reading, math, graduation readiness, real preparation for the future. But surrounding that are really the policy things that I want to bring to the board of good governance. First of all, our number 1 role and what we'll be facing this next year is to work the best we can to hire a permanent superintendent that will dig in and stay in Beloit. Secondly, we need to manage taxpayer resources responsibly, and we do need to rebuild trust in the board and in the district. Over my career, I've represented Beloit in the state assembly, served at the top of Wisconsin state government, and spent 14 years helping to lead Beloit College in various roles. I understand how boards are supposed to work, and I'm ready to help the school board do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Carol.
Thank you, and I thank Wisconsin Policy Monitor and Eyes for hosting this event, and I thank you all for coming. It's nice to have an audience. So, I've been a Beloiter for 35 years, and for almost 2 decades, I worked for the district as an elementary principal. I worked at McGlinnigan and then at Royce. They have since closed both of my schools, so take that as you will. I also started my career as a teacher in Minnesota. I was a principal in Michigan. And post-retirement, I worked with pre-service teachers, mostly at Beloit College, but at some other colleges and universities. And then I mentored some principals for the district. I'm running because I love this district, I love this community, and I believe that this community deserves to have a very high-quality school district. I strongly believe that we need to have, maintain safe and supportive, high-quality learning environments. We need to invest in high-quality teaching staff and let them do what they do best and provide instruction. And we believe we need a leadership who's fiscally responsible, but focused on the classroom. So after serving on the board since October, I believe that my skills and dedication can be put to good use, and I hope I get to continue to work on the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Celestino Ruffini.
Good evening, and thank you to the Wisconsin Policy Monitor and Eyes on Beloit for the opportunity to speak tonight at this forum. I'm running for the School District Beloit Board of Education because every voice in our community deserves to be heard and represented. I want to represent the residents who believe in strong public schools, business owners who know that today's students are tomorrow's workforce, teachers that are seeking stable leadership, and retirees who remember when our schools were a point of pride. I also want to stand for the families who feel unheard, community leaders who refuse to accept low student achievement as our standard, and the children struggling to read who depend on us to get it right. I'm thinking about the family that's considering a move to Beloit and asking whether our schools are headed in the right direction. My family has made this district a priority for the last 11 years. Our son, a sixth grader at Aldrich, has benefited from dual language instruction since the age of 4. Through my professional work, I regularly interact with Beloit Memorial students whose talent and resilience continue to impress me, just like it did today when I was in the high school. Strong schools are essential to a strong Beloit, and with focus, leadership, accountability, and high expectations, we can move forward together, and I'm ready to serve. Thank you much.
Thank you, Celestino. Bill?
Oh, the red one. Oh, yeah. Excuse me. My name is Bill Johnson. I've been a lifelong resident since 1955. My mother graduated in 1931, and she was a proud graduate of Beloit Memorial, and so were my brothers and sisters. I started out at Gaston and went to Lincoln, and then Aldrich, and then back to the high school. I worked for the city of Beloit as a street supervisor. And no matter what anybody tells you, I never put any snow in your driveway. That I never drove any of the trucks, that's why. I did the budget every year for the street department. We came in under. I was proud of that. I was there when we bought the equipment. And I thought I did a good job, and the street department did a good job under me. After I retired, I went to work for Compass and Airmark. I delivered food and supplies to the schools. I was in almost every school every day. I talked to the teachers, I talked to principals, paras, food service workers, custodians, everybody, and I got a good grip of what was going on in the school district. Most of it very good, some not so good. I also worked on the ad hoc committee last year, and I'm looking to get student achievement up there, absentees, and get a superintendent that'll stay, and hopefully we can get him to live in the district. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. All right, we will move on to the question round. Again, I'll just draw at random. I'll start with Bill. And then just a reminder, after the 2-minute question is up, please raise your hand if you're interested in taking a rebuttal or add comments to that question. Any person, multiple people can proceed, but I am keeping track. You have 4, and then I'm going to stop calling on you. So. All right. Bill, not Bill, Dan, I'm sorry. We'll start in order. Sorry, Dan. According to data, the Beloit School District teacher turnover rate exceeds the state average, despite competitive salary and benefits. How can Beloit School District be more successful at retaining and recruiting excellent teachers?
Thanks. An excellent and an important question. So one thing I will say is I will never be the expert on everything in the school district. That's what we hire a superintendent and staff to do, but we serve as a board and we want to make informed policy choices for that. And teacher retention is a very important point. I think that the district will have to do a number of things. So if we do the big things and we go and hire a permanent superintendent, hopefully having Dr. Anderson stay another year, and we're signaling to teachers that we're bringing stability. I've also heard very directly from some teachers and others, and I've heard Dr. Anderson talk about really that we stumble sometimes on little things on our hiring processes to get things in place. So for teacher retention, if we have leadership and culture in our buildings, the 6 elementary schools, the 2 middle schools, BLA, and the high school, if we have leadership that we're proud of as a board collectively, that the superintendent and the team have hired, I think from there retention will follow if we can get back to stable leadership. So that's the key thing, I think, in teacher retention.
Thank you, Dan. Would anybody like to add anything to that question? Bill, please.
And I think
Sorry, 1 minute, just so you know.
exit interviews, when the teachers leave, and find out why they're leaving and take it at heart, and, have people look at that and realize that, maybe there is a certain reason, and see if we can fix it.
Thank you, Bill. Anybody else? Okay, I'll move on to the question for Carol. Our district has passed several deficit budgets in recent years, and our fund balance, the district's savings account, is a fraction of what it once was. Talk about the district's financial situation and share any ideas you have, please.
The district's in a very bad situation financially. It's really difficult because of some of the funding formulas that the state is using that are antiquated and outdated and are really not providing for what we need in our district. We have high economic disadvantage. We also have high special ed and high ELL needs, which is English language learners, and there really is no extra funding to support those students with high needs, and it costs more to educate them. So one of the things I think we need to work on financially is to see if we can work on the state formula, but that's a big ask. But we've cut $10 million out last year. We cut $6 million out this year. We're going to have to cut $4.5 million this coming year. And I know it's not a really popular subject, but I believe we're going to have to do a referendum. We need to do a referendum that's very specific for what our needs are, and we need to be very clear about what that money is going to be used for. And we need to focus it on our teachers and on our classrooms, because that's where the work needs to be. And again, we need high-quality teachers. So if we're going to do the things we say we want to do, we want high-quality teachers. We want things to change around. We want to have our students learn to read. We're going to need finances to do that. And we can't be continuing to look for offers from other places like the Hendricks Foundation, who's giving us $2.5 million to do some work that needs to be done. But that's just for one school and for 60 students. And we have a lot of other students that need that, and we're going to need some finances to support that.
Thank you, Carol. Dan, please.
Yeah, definitely not a rebuttal, because I agree with almost everything Carol said, but just to add, as we talk about our finances, we have to think about what our aspirations are for the district. We now have a district that has lots of different options for parents. Parents have options, like Celestino said, when they move to town, they can be on the other side of the state line. They can choose Turner or Parkview. They can choose a high-quality charter school that's expanding. They can choose a expanding Rock County Christian OLA and so on, and homeschooling and so on. So we have to get back on offense for the district. We have to have a superintendent that builds a strong team that tells our story, not in any way that has to be talk down to those options that other parents do, because parents make those choices for a lot of good reasons for their family. But we have to go tell our story about the district and say why this district is good for people for different reasons. That's tied directly to our finances long-term.
Thanks, Dan. Anyone else? Celestino, please.
Just as I went on the record previously, I personally have voted in support of every referendum that's come before us, at least in my time that I've lived in the community. But as of today, I don't currently support either a operating or a capital referendum. I will say, though, that taxpayers of this community receive a bargain when it comes to property taxes and the value that we receive from the district. I feel that we do underpay and under-contribute to our district, not only locally, but at a state level. I think, though, the community is going to struggle to pass a referendum measure until we can prove that we can operate much more efficiently as a smaller district, whether we become that or not. The fact is, we're 35% smaller in enrollment since 2007, yet our budget's 14% greater than what it was then. And I think people want to see us operate the district like a business, and we're not doing that currently.
Thank you, Celestino. Anyone else? Thank you. We'll move on to the next question. This one is for you, Celestino. How will you make or have you made decisions on what is best for students without being influenced by your personal, political, or religious views, or without being influenced by special interest groups?
I'll speak about this within my closing statement in more detail, but I'm personally engaged and involved with all sorts of groups, whether national, regional, or here in local. And I believe that ultimately every child deserves an education and they deserve a strong public school district. But even though the students deserve that, so do we as the taxpayers and we as the business leaders of this community. We not only deserve it, but we demand it and expect it. I think that what sets me apart is the fact that I'm in the schools. I'm in the weeds working with the students and the teachers to see truly on a day-to-day basis what differences are being made and the positive outcomes that are actually taking place in the district. So I don't want to allude too much to my closing remarks, but the fact is I'm running a very atypical campaign. I'm not seeking to align or engage myself with any special interest groups. This is a school board race, should be the most purest form of a local elected office, and I'm taking great pride in sort of running a very atypical campaign.
Thank you, Celestino. Would anybody else like to comment on that question? Bill, please.
Yeah, excuse me. When I was delivering stuff into the schools, I seen a lot of stuff that was wasted money. $125 clocks in each classroom. Seriously? When you figure over 10 schools, how much that is? 55-inch TVs that were just, set up for extra in case one got broke. Well, how does one get broke? A kid does it, and nothing is ever done about it. And just all kinds of stuff that was wasted, and computers, monitors, just tossed in the garbage.
Thank you, Bill. The next primary question, 2 minutes, goes to Bill. Beloit students have had individual iPads or Chromebooks for over 12 years, with academic achievement dropping significantly over that same period. Do you support continuing this electronic device program or returning to textbooks and paper?
I would like to see textbooks and paper. I think it gets away from the screen time, which, kids get enough of that and other stuff. If we can get back to that, I think it'll help the achievement, which is the main goal of the school district of Beloit, is student achievement. And I just don't think it's a good idea, and that's about all I got.
Thank you, Bill. Would anyone else like to speak on that question? Carol, please.
From what I've been reading, the research is pretty clear that the use of devices, especially at the lower grade levels, is having a negative effect on achievement. So it's very much worthy of a discussion. I wouldn't go in and take out everybody's Chromebooks and give them paper and pencil. We need to talk to the teachers about what they find to be useful and helpful. I think, technology certainly can be used as a very good tool. But technology can also get in the way. And we need to really sit down and discuss what is useful, what's taking more time, what the teachers feel is of a benefit, and use those kinds of things. I mean, even the tools that the teachers use can sometimes take more time than just writing things down with a piece of paper and a pencil. So it's worth of a discussion, but I wouldn't take everything away without that discussion.
Thank you, Carol. Anybody else? Celestino.
I think the experience of our children in the district is amazing, and it's a desirable experience that they have. I'm very fascinated by the use of technology in the schools. I am, though, a proponent of removing all technology from students in elementary school. Personal experiences have led me to believe that there's no need for students to be issued district-owned Chromebooks at any age within elementary school. Mental health and test scores are being impacted greatly. A number of states are putting in restrictions to prevent technology from being used, both personal and professional technology in the school. So I do lean and depend on the teacher's advice regarding technology, but especially in elementary schools. Our students are not learning because of the dependency on technology.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, I will go to round 2 question. We're back with you, Dan. The board is about to begin another superintendent search. What will you be looking for in a new superintendent? Please explain your answer.
Thank you. Hiring the next superintendent is by far the most important thing the board will do collectively. In fact, that's the one employee we supervise is the superintendent of schools. I've said this at a different forum, but aspirationally, I'd love to get back to where it was when I was growing up, where I knew who Superintendent Walls was or Betty Lang was, but I didn't really know who was on the school board. That would be a good thing long-term, to have a superintendent be in charge of the schools for long-term. So what do we do about it? First of all, I think we should commit to getting Dr. Anderson to stay for the full school year next year. If I was on the board, I would want that to be, so we have time to do a search. I think we should go and seek his advice on which firms to use to help us. I do really think we should go out and search for a superintendent, even if we have strong internal candidates. In my experience, both at the state of Wisconsin and at Beloit College, internal candidates become stronger when they win a national or a search that's done openly. So I'm a strong believer in still doing a search for the best candidate. Then we need to have everyone in this community, from teachers to parents, everyone, to tell everyone they know that this is going to be a great place to live and come and advance your career. We all, just by the definition, we are here, we love Beloit, right? Everyone in this room does. We need to spread that word that a superintendent, if they get into that search, they're going to come to a community that's opening, diverse, unique, and has this incredible spirit. So we, as a board, would be cheerleaders to spread that word, to make sure that pool is as deep as possible, so then we can make a really informed choice. And again, as I said earlier, hire a superintendent that's going to dig in and stay.
Thank you, Dan. Would anybody else like to speak on this topic? Carol.
At the last forum too, I have a list a mile long of all the things I want for this person, and I know this person doesn't really exist, but I would like to have somebody who's had some experience as a superintendent, and I definitely would like to have somebody who is vested in the community and who lives here or near here, and I think we can find ways to incentivize that. And I think we need to look at the interview process as well and make sure that it's very extensive and reaches kind of beyond an interview, because sometimes interviews don't give you the entire picture, and lots of different opportunities and people need to be involved in discussions about and with this person that we think we might want to hire.
Thank you, Carol. Anybody else? Bill, please.
Yeah, the superintendent is going to be the main person we need that's going to lead us through for a referendum and going on. And it's not always best to take a superintendent research firm, because a lot of them are just old retired superintendents that are the good old boys or good old girls or whatever. And we need to do digging ourselves. Don't just take their word for it, and hopefully look that somebody's not moving every 2 years, because it's probably going to move if they come here in 2 years. And we need somebody that's committed to Beloit.
Thank you, Bill. All right, Carol, you're back in the hot seat with your round 2 question. What would you suggest we can do to increase trust between the community and district leadership?
Well, if by you mean by district leadership, the superintendent search becomes the key to that as well, because we need to find that person who is that that person that I asked for, right? The miracle person that doesn't exist. But they need to be student focused. They need to be visible. They need to be a communicator, right? They need to be able to communicate to all kinds of groups on all different levels. You know, we need to go to community groups and make sure that we're not using our ed speak and so that they don't understand what is being said, and yet can go into another group and full of teachers and be fully versed in all of the ed speak that they need. So trust is earned. You have to get out there and earn it, and you just there's no other way to do it. So you have to have somebody, or more than one somebody, that, you know, lots of people that are willing to get out there and do the work and build the trust by listening, talking, explaining, making sure that people understand what's going on in many different ways, and then being very careful that they're listening to what is being said and what the community and the stakeholders are looking for, and are trying to drive it that way. You know, it's really a double thing. You have to listen and you have to be able to explain. So you got to earn it.
Thank you, Carol. Anybody else? Okay. Oh, yep, Dan, please.
Thank you. Thanks, Carol. So, as I said in the outset, what I'm running on is that we need to go hire a great permanent superintendent. We need to budget responsibly, and we need to rebuild trust in this board and in the district. I think you do that by bringing stability to the district. We definitely need to communicate more effectively, and that may involve investment in communication professionals to assist the superintendent. We need to make sure that the citizens, the families, parents, and so on, and all the residents of the district know what's going on and why. And then we need to keep transparency in the work we're doing and seek places that we need to become more transparent in that to rebuild the trust that we need in this district. So thank you.
Thank you, Dan. All right, I will move on to question from round 2 for you, Celestino. The superintendent says that the district must make $4.5 million in cuts to balance the next budget. Where do we start?
Well, as I just mentioned, technology for me is a big expense and line item, but you know, for me it's I guess some non-negotiables. You know, we've got teachers and staff that are doing a knock-up job for the circumstances and the culture and the leadership that they have to work within. You know, we're sitting on, I think, $7 million worth of vacancies among teachers and staff right now. So staffing is something I think that can't be touched much, in my personal opinion. I think that for me, it's not so much about the expenses, it's about the revenue and looking at the fact that, you know, we're sitting on a lot of unused assets as a district that we need to either dispose of, and if we do, we need to earn income off of that. It frustrates me that the district, that we sort of got into a very difficult situation about one particular property that wanted to leave or detach from our district and move to a different district. And when looking at the math, you know, the city has, within school district boundaries, more than 1,400 acres of land planned for residential development. And with housing in such great demand, that could net somewhere between 800 and 1,600 students. That's new revenue, not only for the district, but also for the city. In addition to 500 vacant residential lots, which could be another couple hundred students. So for me, it's more focused on not necessarily what we got to keep cutting, even though I do feel we need to cut and operate as a district of maybe 4,000 students. We got to focus on the revenue. We got to be proactive, just like a business, and going out and earning more money.
Thank you, Celestino. Would anyone else like to speak on that topic? Okay. I will go to round 2 question for you, Bill. 2 minutes. Beloit has a serious problem with students missing more than 10% of school days. Why is this important, and how might we address this problem to decrease chronic absenteeism?
We have, excuse me, we have to work with the families and staff and the community to address this situation. The last school year that I looked at, 38% of the students are absent more than 10% of the time. So of 180 school days, that's 18 days. So in 10 years, that's a whole year of school they missed. A whole year. And how do you make up with that? We need to get them there on time. We need to get the parents involved. Time is one thing you'll never get back. And we need to get them when they're young, you know, and get them interested so they want to stay in school, so they're not scared of coming to school, and they want to learn, and they want to be in time. You know, I seen a lot of people, I won't say parents, but people bringing their kids to school at 10, 11 o'clock when school starts at 8:30. And I would mention to the kids the sports thing, you know, you're a couple of runs behind in baseball, the other team has already started, you're a goal behind, hard to make up.
Thank you, Bill. Would anyone else like to speak on absenteeism? Carol.
Chronic absenteeism is a community problem. And if we really want to work on the academic achievement, however, we need to address the attendance issue and chronic absenteeism. I was reading an article about the Mississippi Miracle and all the stuff that they've been doing down there. 3/4 of that article was about attendance and working on the chronic absenteeism and trying to figure out what the roadblocks are. You know, they're going out and trying to find the students, bringing them to school, figuring out what it is that parents need, what kind of help they need to get the kids to school. You know, literally in terms of things like making sure that kids have the alarm clocks and clean clothes and transportation. I mean, and the district's been working on some of those, like the walking bus program and some of those kinds of things. But the roadblocks that our parents face are a community issue as well as a district issue. So we need to be working together hard with the community on figuring out ways to help our families and get rid of some of those roadblocks.
Thank you, Carol. Yes, please, Celestino.
The fact is, based on the data from the Wisconsin Policy Monitor, to be absent or considered an absentee, you're enrolled for at least 90 days and you've attended less than 90% of those days in which you're enrolled. Beloit Turner's at 8%, Janesville's 22%, and Beloit's at 42%, which is absolutely sickening. Parents don't hear the communication around the values of the district and the fact that education matters in Beloit. Parents have to know that their children are going to fall behind, and we as the district have the mental health resources to help their children, and we have what it takes to offer in the district to make this a place where kids are embraced and they want to be desired at. We have to lean on WDPI for their resources they offer. You can go to their website and learn about the 7 types of resources they offer to districts just like ours, and I encourage leaning into all those to turn the tide in a positive direction.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, moving on to round 3. Dan, we're back with you. There's a discussion about the district expanding its alternative education options to our elementary schools for students who display behavior problems. Do you support this and why?
Yeah, so I'm not an expert on that, and I wanted to let people know how I'll tackle issues that I don't know much about if they come to me, because that's what's supposed to happen at a board level. I'll read the materials that the administration, the superintendent, and the staff bring to the board. I will do my own research to try to get a little bit smarter about the issue, and I will listen to my colleagues, and hopefully we can come to a decision, a policy decision in a respectful way, building consensus across the 7 members of the board. But I don't have a position on this because I haven't done any of that on this issue, so I wouldn't be able to answer it. So, but it gives you a little flavor of how I'll make decisions on the board.
Thank you, Dan. Would anyone like to speak on this topic? All right, we will move on. Carol, your round 3 question. The district is now well under 5,000 students, while local voucher and charter schools are expanding. While this problem is not unique to Beloit, what are your suggestions to retain and attract students to SDB?
Well, I think the best thing we can do to attract students, the first thing we can do is to make sure that we're improving the cultures that are in our schools, improving the academic achievement, making sure those outcomes are strong. You know, people will want to be in the schools if they're places they want to go. So the other thing I've been thinking about a lot is that I think we need to be looking towards an idea like what Jeff Adams did and some of the other people did with Project 2000 for the city of Beloit, and work on an education initiative for the entire area, well, the entire district, and include the charter school and the private schools and Beloit College and Blackhawk Tech, and come up with an education plan for the entire community. I think we need to be much more forward-thinking about our whole educational program and how things work together and fit together, and we really literally, I think, need a task force for that. I was watching a show that just the other day on the history of Beloit, and you know, we talk about how we were an industrial town and all that stuff, but one of the very first things that happened in this town was that we had Beloit College. So we're an education town, and we need to lean into that and really work hard on focusing on what's best for all of our children and what kinds of education initiatives that we need for everybody and how we can all work together to make that happen. The school district, even if we lose more kids, will still have the most kids to be dealing with. So we need to lean into the school district and then lean into how the charter and some of these other schools can help us and work with us and work together with us. I mean, we have a lot of things going on at the high school that, you know, the kids at the charter school would want to be part of, and all of those kinds of things. We need to be more proactive about working together.
Thank you, Carol. Would anyone else like to speak on that topic? Dan.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Carol. Thanks for some great comments, and I agree. Let's think also strategically about this long commitment that parents make to a district. Not to make us all feel old, but kindergartners that start next year will graduate Beloit Memorial in 2039. You know, this is a commitment that parents make for the district, and we need to have strategic planning that goes along with that long scale. And we have been in probably a needed cutting mode, and we need to get into a growth mode. And I like very much what Carol said about having the entire community come together for an education plan that isn't just this organization called School District of Beloit, but is the entire community. So I think that makes a lot of sense.
Thank you. All right, we will go to the last 2-minute question for you, Celestino. Board members are paid $450 per month for board service, and meeting attendance is the expectation. Some board members participate remotely quite often, while others show up in person for nearly every meeting. Please share with us your views on remote board meeting participation.
I don't agree with it at all. I'm currently the chair of the city's Landmarks Commission as well as the city's Joint Review Board. I actually sit in this same seat, or maybe the one Carol's in, for those meetings with the gavel. I don't get a gavel tonight. Like, this is a local school board. This is not, we're not a multinational company where we got to phone in, fly in, call in, whatever. You're either there or not. I totally get it. Look, there's times I can't attend meetings, and there's times things come up, and, you know, this board meets every 2 weeks, and there's committee meetings, and there's obligations. So if you can't come, hey, that's cool. But we're doing the work of you, the public, and the taxpayers of this district. We have to be accountable to you, just like you're accountable to us. That requires us meeting in person, conducting business in person. You may tell I'm not really much for technology or any of that, but I feel we meet in person, and I don't know necessarily if we need to change rules or policies or procedures, but yes, I by all means feel meeting in person is necessary in the way it should be.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to touch on that subject? Bill? Bill, this is your last rebuttal, just so you know. I might give you another half because that was short. So just Carol, please.
I agree that you need to be there if you can be there, but there have been circumstances where you really want to be at a meeting, but you just really can't be there because you're just not feeling well, and you might infect somebody. But I can sit at my desk at home and still participate in the meeting. So I think it needs to be clear that you should be at the vast majority of the meetings in person. That's the expectation. But if you occasionally need to sign in, I think it's better than not being there at all. And I want to be there. So, and if I can't be there in person, I would like to be there at least remotely. And
Thank you. All right. Bill, I'm going to give you your final question. And then let me just kind of give folks a lay of the land. We do have a few other questions, and we still have 15 minutes. So I'm going to give Bill his last question, and then I'm going to open these up to whichever hands want to answer these before we go to closing. So
It's like the NFL where we get an extra timeout for overtime.
you might. Yeah, we're going to see how it goes here. Let's get through Bill, and then we're going to make this like fantasy football or something. So, all right, Bill, what are 3 things we could do today to increase student achievement in Beloit schools?
With the homeless problem in Beloit, I see a lot of kids that can't get there, and they're struggling. They have no place to live. It's got to be hard to get there, and maybe they don't even want to be there after being homeless. Support our teachers, support our students, make it safe for them at schools. Fair wages for the teachers. We just need to get everybody there And if the kids are being disruptive, we need to help out the teachers, and the administrators need to back up the teachers when there's problems in the classroom. That, I think is a problem. It's not being addressed. But if we can get there, we have a great district, and we just need to sell it more to the people and the parents so the kids will want to come and stay here and not listen to the outside people.
Thank you, Bill. Dan and Celestino, you both still have one last rebuttal or addition left if you want to use it, or forever hold your peace here.
I'll
Sure,
take it
go ahead, Celestino.
if the opportunity. I was going to rebut. I was going to rebuttal my last question. But anyway. Okay. Student achievement. Focus has to be on the building principles and the quality of our teachers, of which I do think we've got great teachers. A positive school climate is going to do more towards building student achievement than most measures that we could implement. The benefits to student achievement, before I get to my solutions, are that it strengthens our schools, it prepares children for the future of which they should not be socially promoted for, and is encouraging confidence in our kids. My solutions, of which I would lean on our superintendent to implement, because that's not my role. My role is what needs to happen and not the how. But things I would suggest as solutions are encouraging collaborative learning versus just lecturing to our students, giving them more autonomy in the classroom to nurture what kind of curriculum and path they want to go down, and monitor learning all day, every day, and being rigorous. That's more than 3, but yeah.
Thank you. All right. I'm the moderator, so I get to make the rule at the end here. So I'm going to read a question, and anybody or everybody can have 1 minute to answer this. Raise your hand if you're ready. If you don't want to answer it, don't. I have 2 more. All right. A state law was passed mandating that each district have a district cell phone policy. Please share your thoughts on cell phones in the schools. We need Jeopardy music, right? Dan, please.
Well, I think most parents believe that this experiment of giving a screen in front of everyone all the time has been problematic. There's really interesting articles about the bags and how quickly they're defeated, and districts are struggling in how to do this. It's often parents that really want their kids to be in contact with them. So we absolutely need to listen to the experts on the districts that are doing this right. There's thousands and thousands of districts across the country, and let's take a model that works and let's implement it, and I'll be very supportive of that.
Thank you. Does anyone else want to touch cell phones? Bill.
Yeah, I think that every single teacher in a school has a cell phone. So if the parents are worried about a disaster or something going on, that the teacher in the school or in the classroom will be able to get the information out. I don't like the idea of them being in the classroom because I think they're a big distraction. They use them to film stuff that shouldn't be, and to text, and they're not paying attention in class. Like Dan said, monitor somebody who's doing it the right way and go from there.
Thank you. Celestino.
I've got a lot of opinions about this topic. I was in the high school today in a classroom. I saw 0 cell phones within the pouches on the door. That being said, I will give kudos to Principal Joe Vrydox at Aldrich. When you set clear boundaries and expectations of how cell phones need to be treated in a school building, kids follow it. And ultimately, it's on parents. It's on us to say, no, you can't have a phone in the first place. But if you do have a phone, we have to enable our principals to set boundaries, set rules, and there's consequences if you don't follow the rules. And at Aldrich, it's made very clear from day one, before school even begins, what's going to happen with the cell phone. And when you see a principal in a building of leaders who are following through on a policy, policies work. It's amazing. And And so what they're doing at Aldrich is going very well, and I'm sure it's going on at other schools, but we just follow the policies. It's in place, follow the rules, and the kids are happy. Kids seek and desire and want to be nurtured in in an environment that has rules and boundaries and guidelines, and they're in place. We just have to abide by them.
Thank you. Carol?
I agree. I mean, I don't disagree with anything that's been said. Cell phones don't have a place in the classroom, and if the kids aren't following rules, then the consequences need to be put in place. And, you don't have your cell phone anymore.
Sure, Bill, go ahead.
And I definitely agree with Principal V. He is the tip of the spear. He is the leader. He is out there with the kids in the lunchroom and the classrooms. Every day when they came into school, I've seen him. He's the man.
Thank you, Bill. All right, I'm going to ask one more for people who want this, and then we'll go to closing statements. Most Beloit taxpayers saw more than a 500% increase in their property tax bills this year. What do you say to these people? Dan.
So I can only say what I saw as a taxpayer and a property owner in town. The district just has to communicate better with its citizens, just has to do better. Last year was an example of where really fell down on the communication to all taxpayers. I've read the reasons, I've read the analysis of independent people, I've read the Policy Institute's explanation, the district, and I'm talking about what happened last year during calendar 25 on citizens. We can't repeat that in a way that citizens were surprised when tough decisions are made. We're going to have to make tough decisions. We're a school board, but we have to communicate better.
Thank you. Anybody else? Celestino.
I flip this conversation every time. Taxes went up this year, but no one wants to talk about a year or two ago when taxes dramatically fell off a cliff. When my cell phone bill in 1 month is greater than what I owe the school district in property taxes for a year, that's ridiculous. And no one wanted to talk about when we all saved a bunch of money and weren't paying a dime into anything, but we all got mad when it went back up. Well, it went back up to really just what it went to the same level a few years ago. So yes, it did go up, but it also had a huge falling off the cliff not all that long ago. And the fact is, we are still $3,600 less per student than the state average. So it's not like we are taxing people every nickel and dime they got. We are still well below the state average. So it's just a telltale story of how quick we forget when the times are the inverse.
Thank you. Carol.
Paying taxes is no fun. I don't like to pay taxes any more than anybody else likes to pay taxes. And I was on the school board and I knew, we talked about it was going to go up of 5% or whatever. But then when it says 532%, I'm like, oh my. That was shocking. And I was on the school board. I knew it was going to go up. But, we want services. If we want services, if we want a school district, if we want roads, if we want other kinds of things that we want to have for our community, we have to pay taxes. And, we don't want to have to pay too many taxes because it gets burdensome. But we need to understand that we need to pay some reasonable taxes. And I agree with Celestino, the taxes went way down and everybody was like, yay, but they forget that really quickly. And so I think, we just need to understand that taxes provide us with things, and we have to be clear about what our taxes are providing for us. So, yes, it's hard, and yeah, I hate getting my property tax bill, and I just did my income taxes. I hate doing that too. But, what did they say? There's two things in life, death and taxes. It's kind of, there it is.
Thank you. All right, it's still the Wild West around here. we still have 6 minutes and we only need 4 for closing. So we had one audience question turned in early, so we're going to ask it. How would you make sure that our students can pass required testing to advance to the next grade while providing them with extra help they may need? Any takers? Dan.
Well, certainly things like the literacy and guidance initiative that was passed this week are one small step towards doing that in the elementary school, or at least one elementary school. I think listening to what principals and teachers say in each building of what's needed to bring our students along, and again, to listen to the professionals, and then our board supporting that superintendent and that person's team to move that forward to keeping student achievement in everything we do focused on that.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. I'm having so much fun, I took one more. Carol, I did hear you allude to this, so feel free to speak on it, or if anybody else would like to. I would like to ask if anyone on this panel has read Mississippi Miracle. Is there anything that the school district of Beloit could benefit from knowing?
Well, I've just read the articles about the progress they've made in Mississippi. You should all know that it's definitely not local control. This was a state initiative that came down, and it was needed, and it's worked. But we're learning the world is learning a lot of lessons about how reading achievement specifically can move forward rapidly. And of course, that's what we need in Beloit, is reading achievement to move forward rapidly. So I hope our curriculum and our new curriculum director and everyone is paying attention to that, and we'll, as a board, would be responding to things that we've learned in the world.
Thank you. All right, with that, we are now going to move to closing statements. So 1 minute per person, and Dan, we're going to start with you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tori. Thank you to the Wisconsin Policy Monitor. Thank you to Eyes on Beloit School Board for organizing tonight's forum. And thank you to everyone that is watching this in various forums and who came out here in the room to listen to it. Thank you very much. I also want to thank the other candidates, Carol, Celestino, Bill, and Amy. It takes commitment in the community. It takes commitment to the community to run for office and to serve, and I respect everyone who has stepped forward, so thank you very much. I want to spend my closing 40 seconds or so really talking about my experience and why I want to earn one of your votes on April 7th. I served 3 terms in the State Assembly. I went on to become the Deputy Secretary and Secretary of the Department of Administration, the highest levels of state government. I came back and worked at Beloit College. I was a secretary of the board. I was a project manager for this little $50 million project, a little fixer-upper on the river at the powerhouse. I know how boards should work, and I'm there to help this board operate in the way it should. So I hope to earn one of your votes. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Carol.
I too want to thank everybody for coming and for hosting this forum. It's always interesting to listen to each other, and I think you have some very difficult choices to make. So I hope you vote for me because I do want to continue my work on the board. But I think if you vote for other candidates, you'll have a good board. So my feeling about the district is we really need to be realistic and honest about what our issues are. We need to be talking about, achievement and what needs to be done to really improve the achievement. And, the idea of the Mississippi Miracle and some of those kinds of things, we need to be researching what is going to be most effective. And I would go back to that task force. I think we need to come up with some kind of task force to move us all forward as a community together. So I would hope you would consider a vote for me on April 7th. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Celestino.
This election in particular is deeply important to me, and I realize I'm running a different kind of campaign. Before deciding to run for the School District Beloit Board of Education, I made 2 commitments. First, I'm not accepting any monetary contributions, and I'm not self-funding this campaign. I believe the school board race should be one of the purest forms of local service. Any eligible resident in our district should feel empowered to run and have their voice heard. By running a $0 campaign, I want to show that leadership at this level should be guided by values and accountability, not financial contributions. Secondly, I am not seeking or accepting any endorsements. Whether I win or lose, I want to wake up April 8th accountable only to the voters and to the commitments I've made publicly in forums such as this. If elected, I'll focus on these priorities: student achievement, selecting the next superintendent, while supporting educators, ensuring responsible stewardship of taxpayer dollars, and keeping the board focused on student outcomes. I'm Celestino Ruffini. You can contact me at friendsofruffini@gmail.com, and I ask for your vote on April 7th. Thank you much.
Thank you. Bill?
Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you for the people that are running. You give up your time. The one thing, like I said, you can't get back. And hopefully the $2.5 million will work and we can get the reading achievement up where it'll help everybody. And then after 3 years, we can see and we just go from there. If you can't read, you can't succeed. I'm running the Safe Schools for Teachers and Students, so they all want to come to learn. Working with family, staff, and community to address the absentee, fair wages for the teachers, and responsible budgeting. You can't just cut, you'd have to look at everything and go from there. And thank you for your time, and mark the first one on the ballot.
Thank you. And thank you to everybody for attending the forum tonight. Thank you to the forum sponsors, Eyes on Beloit School Board and Wisconsin Policy Monitor. I wish the best of luck to all of the candidates for running for Beloit School Board. Your willingness to serve the citizens of Beloit really is a blessing. I encourage all citizens to stay engaged, use your voice, and support your community by showing up at the polls on April 7th. Drive safe and have a nice night.